Hey, this is Darshan Shanti from darshanshanti.com with your Wednesday whiteboard training. Today we're going to be talking about overcoming fear so that you can once and for all have the life you really want. Obviously, fear stops most people from pursuing their dreams, from going for a different job, pursuing a relationship. I mean, you name it, fear gets in the way. And that, as a matter of fact, exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to use the fear of a relationship as an example to help you become free from fear once and for all. Now, of course, on the board behind me, you can see the traditional. People have a fear of success. They have a fear of failure. They have a fear of rejection. But what is this fourth fear? What do these question marks represent? Well, that's going to be the key to your freedom. So let's go on a little trip way back when. Think back to when you were in high school. Was there ever somebody you wanted to go out with? You were available and he or she was available, but you didn't ask that person out? I'm sure you can think of somebody you really want to go out with, but you didn't. And what's the reason most people don't ask a person out that they're interested in? Well, most people say it's a fear of rejection. And I'm here to tell you that there is no such thing, even though it's written on the board behind me, as a fear of rejection. No such thing whatsoever. In fact, it's very closely linked to a fear of failure. And a fear of failure is just a fear of success turned inside out. It's just the other side of the coin. So what I'm really saying is there's no such thing as a fear of rejection, a fear of failure, or a fear of success. Now, you might think I'm absolutely crazy, but in the next minute or so, I'm going to prove it to you. If you would have gone up and asked that person out, and that person would have looked at you and laughed and said, "Ha! Go out with you?" Or whatever they would have done. What, and here's the magic, what would you have told yourself about you? That's what I really want you to think about. Now, in the privacy of your own thoughts, when you don't have to share it with an audience, you'll probably say something like, "I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not sexy enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not muscular enough." You would say something like, or some version of, "I'm not good enough." And that is why you don't ask the person out. Because it's not rejection or failure you're worried about. Here's what it is, and I'm going to write it on the board. What you don't want is validation. Do you see that? What you don't want is validation of the unconscious core negative beliefs you have about yourself. No one wants those beliefs validated ever. So they never take a risk, because if they take a risk and fail, then their core negative beliefs about themselves are validated. So it's one thing for you to think to yourself you're not good enough, sexy enough, smart enough, handsome enough, whatever. But it's a whole other thing to have it confirmed by somebody else. Because when it's validated and you have external proof and it validates what you internally believe, that really sucks. In fact, it sucks the life out of you. It sucks so much that people will do anything to avoid it because it's so painful. Now, that in itself is extremely magical for you to understand. But I'm not going to leave you hanging there. What I want you to understand is how to get rid of that. You see, if you have a core belief that you're not good enough in some way, shape, or form, the first thing you got to do is realize, of course, that it's a lie. It's a learned belief that you adopted, and it became something you know. When you were a baby going goo goo gaga, you didn't have a fear of rejection or failure or a fear of success, a fear of validation. You didn't have any of those fears. You didn't think you weren't good enough. You learned that because people along the way in your life started to tell you things. Oh, you're this, oh, you're that, or whatever it is they told you. And you started collecting evidence and you started to believe it. And what I'm telling you is it's a lie that you do not have to believe. And anything that you learned, you can unlearn. That's the point that I'm making. Once you realize it's a lie, well, then you can be free of it. You can change your own mind about it. And what could you change your mind to? You could say, wait a minute. It's not about me. If she doesn't like me or he doesn't like me, that's his or her problem. That's not my problem. Maybe she doesn't feel good enough or he doesn't feel good enough to go out with you. Maybe that's why those people said no. That's the point that I'm making here. What they say is about them. How you react is all about you. So if you don't take it personally because you realize the truth, and the truth is that you are priceless, not worth less. The truth is that you are great and magnificent and incredible, not anything less than that. You are good enough in every way, shape, or form. And when you own that, when you know that that's the truth, then the fear of success, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, really that don't exist, but the fear of validation, that goes away. And then think to yourself, what could you do if you weren't worried about what people thought anymore? And that's the only reason you're worried about what people think, because you're worried about having your core beliefs validated. What could you do? Well, of course, you could do anything you wanted to do. So if you take this message to heart and you realize your truth, that you are incredible and fabulous and awesome and good enough in every single way, and then go take the inspired action that comes, I promise your life is going to get better very, very quickly. So that's it for today's Wednesday whiteboard training. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just do a search for Darshan Shanti. When you get there, make sure you click the bell so you can get updates when I post a new video. Or you can go to darshanshanti.com for more information that will uplift, inspire, and make a difference for you on so many levels you can't even imagine. It will awaken you to your fullest potential. Until tomorrow, this is Darshan Shanti from darshanshanti.com.